Your life will change if you do this every morning. Every morning is a blank page in the story of your life. The way you start it will determine the tone of your entire day. Too many people open their eyes, reach for their phone, and allow the world to pour noise into their minds before they've even spoken to themselves. But I want to tell you this. If you dedicate the first moments of your day to building your mind, your goals, and your inner power, your life will never be the same again. Once said that what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Mornings are the prime time to feed your mind with belief, direction, and purpose before distractions arrive. This is when your mind is fresh, your willpower is strong, and your spirit is untouched by negativity. Here's the truth. If you begin each day with clear intentions, gratitude for what you have, and a written plan for what you will achieve, you plant the seeds of success before the world has a chance to pull you in 100 directions. That's not just productivity, that's self-mastery. When you rise early, you're not just waking up before the sun, you're stepping into the quiet hours where champions are made. This is the time to visualize your goals vividly, to affirm your ability to succeed, and to take one powerful step toward your dream before anyone else has even started. This habit compounds over time, and just like money in the bank, those deposits will grow into something life-changing. Think about this. Every day you have a choice to start on your terms or on the world's terms. If you choose your terms, you control your day. If you control your day, you control your life. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up. Rise with intention. Look yourself in the mirror and remind yourself who you are, what you want, and why you refuse to settle for less than your full potential. Then take action. One small, deliberate, courageous action toward your vision. Do this every morning, and the world won't just see a different you. You. World. Control the first hour, control the day. The first hour after you wake up is the most valuable real estate in your entire day. It is the golden hour when your mind is fresh, your energy is untapped, and your focus is at its sharpest. Yet this is also the time most people give away to chaos. They reach for their phone, scroll through social media, check messages, or absorb the news, instantly handing over control of their mood, thoughts, and priorities to the outside world. If you want to win the day, you must win the first hour. This is not just about avoiding distractions. It's about deliberately designing those first 60 minutes to put you in a peak state of mind, that the thoughts we allow to dominate our mind in the early part of the day influence our entire flow of action. When you fill that first hour with clarity, gratitude, learning, and purposeful planning, you set the stage for productivity and confidence. Imagine this. You wake up, drink a glass of water, and spend the first 10 minutes in silence or meditation, clearing your mind from clutter. You then take another 10 minutes to visualize your most important goals, seeing yourself already achieving them, feeling the emotions of success. The next 10 minutes might be devoted to affirmations, speaking powerful, positive truths into your mind to replace doubt and fear. After that, perhaps you spend some time moving your body, stretching, exercising, or simply breathing deeply to activate your energy. Finally, you outline the top 3 tasks you must accomplish for the day and commit to doing them with focus and excellence. So, by the time the rest of the world is waking up, you are already mentally sharp, emotionally grounded, and physically energized. You have clarity of purpose and a game plan in place. That feeling alone changes how you respond to challenges, how you speak to people, and how much you achieve by the end of the day. Here's the secret. You cannot control every event that happens throughout your day, but you can control how you show up to face them. If you start rushed, scattered, and stressed, the smallest obstacle can throw you off course. But if you start calm, intentional, and energized, you can navigate even the hardest moments with clarity and strength. Winners know that success is not just about big decisions. It's about small, consistent victories. Owning your first hour is one of those victories that compounds. Do it once, and you'll feel a difference. Do it daily, and you'll transform your life. The discipline you build in that first hour will carry into the rest of your day and eventually into the rest of your life. Control the first hour, and you control your thoughts. Control your thoughts, and you control your actions. Control your actions, and you control your destiny. That's the power of the first hour. Every day begins with a battle for your attention. The moment you open your eyes, the world is waiting to flood your mind with its noise, notifications, emails, news alerts, social media feeds, and endless demands. If you let these things in before you take control, you give away your most precious mental space to other people's priorities. Instead of living your own life, you start reacting to theirs. That the mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it first will grow throughout the day. If you plant negativity, doubt, and distraction, that's exactly what you'll harvest. But if you plant gratitude, vision, and positive belief, you set yourself up for a day of focus, confidence, and purpose. Feeding your mind before the world feeds it for you means taking the first moments of your morning to program your thoughts intentionally. This can be done through reading uplifting material, listening to inspiring speeches, writing down your goals, or reflecting on what you're grateful for. Even 5 minutes of this practice can create a shield that protects you from the chaos of the outside world. Picture this. You wake up, resist the temptation to check your phone, and instead pick up a book filled with ideas that inspire you. You read a few pages that spark motivation. Then you write down 3 things you're grateful for, shifting your focus to abundance rather than lack. Next, you take a moment to visualize the life you want, imagining yourself living it with confidence and joy. By the time you're ready to start your day, your mind is already filled with strength and clarity. Contrast this with a morning where you wake up and instantly scroll through social media. You see someone's vacation, someone else's complaint, a news headline about problems in the world, and a flood of emails demanding your attention. Before you've even taken your first sip of water, your mind is already cluttered, distracted, and reacting. The difference between these 2 mornings is the difference between living on offense and living on defense. When you feed your mind first, you decide the mental diet you're consuming. You're not letting random, often negative input control how you feel. Instead, you're choosing your thoughts and therefore choosing your reality. Over time, this habit builds mental resilience. You'll find yourself less shaken by negativity, more focused on what matters, and more consistent in taking action toward your goals. The truth is, the world will always try to feed your mind with its problems, distractions, and fears. But you have the power to choose what enters your mental space first. Stays the longest, or often stays the longest. So protect your mornings like a treasure chest. Fill them with the kind of thoughts that will fuel your best self. Feed your mind before the world does, and you won't just change your day, you'll change your entire life. One of the most powerful habits you can develop every morning is the practice of vivid visualization. This is not daydreaming, it's deliberate mental programming. It's the art of seeing your goals as already accomplished, experiencing them in your mind with such clarity and emotion that your subconscious begins working to make them real. Often spoke about the power of a clear, definite chief aim, and visualization is the fuel that keeps that aim alive. When you visualize your success in detail, you are training your mind to believe it's possible. The brain cannot easily distinguish between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. That means when you rehearse your success in your mind, you are planting the seeds of confidence, familiarity, and certainty. Over time, this mental conditioning influences your actions, decisions, and persistence. Here's how to do it. Sit in a quiet place each morning, close your eyes, and see your dream life in crystal clear detail. If your goal is to build a thriving business, imagine yourself walking into your office, seeing your team working together, hearing their excitement, feeling the pride in your chest. If your goal is to improve your health, see yourself looking in the mirror, strong and energetic, feeling the satisfaction of having followed through on your commitments. Don't just see it, feel it, feel it. Imagine the emotions you would have if your goal was already achieved. Feel the joy, gratitude, confidence, and excitement. Add sensory details. What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? What smells are in the air? The more senses you engage, the more real it becomes in your mind. Why is this so important? Because the mind works with images, not just words. If your goal is only written down but never visualized, it remains a distant idea. But when you rehearse it mentally every day, you're telling your subconscious, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. Your subconscious then works like a magnet, attracting ideas, opportunities, and people that align with that vision. Visualization also keeps you motivated when challenges arise. On days when progress feels slow, the mental image of your end goal can reignite your drive. It reminds you why you started and helps you push through obstacles. The key is consistency. Doing it once is inspiring. Doing it daily is transformational. Over time, you will notice that your actions naturally start aligning with your vision. You'll make better decisions, take bolder steps, and maintain greater focus because you've already seen yourself succeed 1,000 times in your mind. Success begins twice, first in your mind, then in reality. If you want to change your life, start by changing the pictures you play in your head. Every morning, visualize your success in vivid detail. Live it in your mind until it becomes the only possible outcome. The future you want is already waiting. Your job is to see it clearly enough to walk straight toward it. Consistency turns morning rituals into life results. Success is never built in a single day. It's built in the daily disciplines that seem small at the moment, but compound into life-changing results over time. Morning rituals are one of the most powerful tools you can use to direct your life, but they only work if you stick to them with unwavering consistency. Doing something once might inspire you, but doing it every day transforms you. Think of it like planting seeds. One morning of visualization, gratitude, and planning is like planting a single seed in your mental garden. That seed might sprout, but it won't grow into something strong unless you water it every day. Consistency is the watering. It's the sunlight. It's the force that turns intention into transformation. Many people start a morning routine with excitement, but abandon it after a week because they don't see immediate results. The truth is, the results of a morning ritual aren't instant, they're cumulative. Just like you don't get fit after one workout or wealthy after one day of saving money, you won't see the full power of a morning ritual until it becomes part of who you are. When you commit to your ritual daily, even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when life feels chaotic, you're sending yourself a powerful message. I am in control. My goals matter. I keep my promises to myself. That alone builds self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of success. And consistency also makes your rituals automatic. At first, you might have to push yourself to wake up early, meditate, visualize, write, or exercise. But over time, your brain begins to expect it. It becomes part of your identity. I'm the kind of person who starts the day with purpose. Once that shift happens, it takes less willpower to follow through because it's simply what you do. Imagine two people starting the same morning routine. One does it for 3 days and quits. The other does it every day for a year. For a year. The difference between them isn't just 362 extra days of practice. It's an entirely different mindset, skill set, and level of focus. The second person has built momentum, clarity, and discipline that ripple into every area of life. The magic of consistency is that it compounds silently. You may not notice the changes day by day, but after months or years, you'll look back and see a completely different person. More confident, more capable, more in control. Morning rituals are the blueprint. Consistency is the builder. When you combine both, you create a life designed by intention rather than by accident. So don't just start your ritual, own it. Show up for it every day. Make it non-negotiable. Because when you master the habit of showing up every morning for your own growth, the results will show up in every corner of your life.